What's up, guys? It's Barrett here. I wanted to kind of give you an overview on my, finally, after about 2 months of prepping this thing, 180 gallon Marineland corner overflow reef tank, which went from my 90 gallon, which is now broken down into this 180. Overall, I spent around probably about $5,000 or so after all is said and done on different pieces of equipment and labor time, having someone drill my tank so I can do dual Herbie overflows in the corner tanks along with a return in the same compartment, which I'll show you here in a second how I did that. I think it's a great setup. I loved the ghost overflow on the 90, the Herbie drain as well, so I won't ever go back to anything else because it's pretty much silent besides a little pipe noise that I have going on with this. I have to dial it in a tad. Other than that, super happy, no leaks, none of that garbage that can happen on a tank. I did do a leak test before I got in here, however, after moving in and stuff like that, it could be a different story. But I kind of want to go ahead and give an overview of kind of what I've done and what it took to get this thing going and kind of my equipment and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up and show you what it's like. So there's the Marineland 180, 180 gallon tank. Of course, I moved over my Hydra 52s from my 90. I added a third from a friend of mine, or just a guy that I met from Craigslist actually, selling one. Super good deal. I had the 48-inch rails up top. For my 90, got the 72-inch to do for these lights. Didn't know if I was going to hang them. I thought I might do the bracket on top of the tank, but it didn't give me enough height on the for the top of the water from the bottom of the light. So I decided to use the AI hanging kit and hang them from the ceiling. Still have some little bit of wire management, but overall, that's kind of the setup there. Works great with my AI director. I also have the AIM module for the Neptune, which I'll show you here in a second, which I could integrate, but haven't done that yet because I really don't know how to do it yet, and I don't feel like it's as intuitive as the AI director. But anyway, I have 3 islands, as you can see. The left and the right are both my live rock from my 90. The center is some Tonga plates from BRS, along with some branches as well. All the coral is from my 90 as well, so it looks a little sparse, as well as fish count as well. I only have 7 fish now. Most of them are a lot smaller. I have 2 clowns, a tang, or excuse me, a regal tang, dory I should say, Tomini tang, yellow goby, blue green mandarin, and a firefish. And I also have a royal grama as well, which actually the first one I had whenever I was moving this over with dove right into my carpet anemone and died instantly. So that's pretty awesome. But anyway, we can go over live stuff later whenever it's better lighting, but right now it's kind of the setup for the tank, for the display tank. But bottom is what kind of everybody cares about, I guess, in this kind of videos for how-tos. You can't see it, but the stand is actually on 8 different padded mounts. So I brought the stand up about a ½ inch, so if any water spills underneath there, I learned my lesson from a 90 that it can actually dry out and not warp my wood floors. So if you have wood floors, put some kind of spacing underneath your tank, something that's strong and sturdy to provide a little bit of spacing so your tank can actually dry out underneath in case you ever do have any water spills or overages and stuff like that. So just lessons learned from my 90. This is my cabinetry so far. I have not put the doors on yet, but I actually sanded it down, restained it to, it's called, I don't know what the heck it's called, basically a little bit darker oak color. I like how it came out a lot, it looks beautiful. Matches my wood floors, so pretty happy with it. Alright, so underneath, I have the Trigger Systems Tightline 48 Sump. 40 inches long, holds about 60 gallons, perfect for this application, perfect. Has 2 7-inch sock holders with 3 drains, 2 1.5s and 1 1-inch drain. As you can see, I have the ball valves on the 2 pure siphon drains, one from each side, my left and the right, which I'll show you over here. So you can see I did it with black pipes, so it's a lot less conspicuous than white pipes in there. It looks really clean. Of course, I have my Eheim 300 watt heater in there. So this is duplicated from this side to that side is the same thing. And then I have, of course, my lock line. I did the nozzle versus the, I guess the slotted type of return. But you can see there, it's works really well. Had someone drill the third hole up there for my return, because it only has 2 holes drilled for the drains. It's supposed to be a Durso setup, but I did of course, Herbie style. So I have 2 drains there, and then I had the guy come and drill the back pane of the glass to do my return. So it works absolutely perfect. Can't really see it back there, but it does a slight 45 degree. I kind of wanted to avoid my 90s because I have a lot of 90s inside my sump from all my twists and turns for my return pump. So I went from 45 degrees there. But anyway, that's the side. And so basically my left drain is duplicated on my right, so I don't need to show you over there. But also we'll show you my automatic top off from, this is a Trigger Systems Crystal 10-gallon ATO box. It's perfect. It has a lid, holes for my return hose, and the power for the pump, so it's absolutely perfect. And that's a Tunes 5017 return automatic top off, so absolutely perfect. Works fantastic with the optical sensor and also the float valve switch as a backup. If you guys don't know what the Tunes automatic top off is, let me know in the comments. I'll point you in the right direction, but perfect for this for the ATO. So like I said, 2 pure siphon drains dialed in as far as I can get them for right now. Of course, the dual 7-inch filter socks right there. Then I have the Reef Octopus 3000 INT. It's rated for about 280 to 300 gallon system, but of course mine's 180, or I probably would say 240, 230 total volume currently. So it looks a little watery there because I messed it up. I tilted it over, so it got kind of happy and made a lot of foam. But anyway, I have it kind of dialed in now. Have it going directly to the water, so there's no splashing sound. As you can see back there, I have my Emperor Aquatics UV sterilizer. I was actually doing a leak test in that, so there's no bulb in it yet, but I'll do that here in a second. I had a 25 watt Aqua UV on my 90. Never had any ick after I put it on there. Never had any diseases. Corals grew great. Everything was fantastic. No algae. So I spent, I don't know. I think it was like $380 on another UV sterilizer. Of course, there's a bunch of debate in the hobby of whether it's good or not. I highly recommend, fully recommend it. I think it's not coincidental that my ick stopped as soon as I got it. No algae as soon as I got it. Works fantastic and does the job for what I want. So obviously you can do it without it, but for me, it works. Carbon reactor from BRS is the deluxe version, so it's a little bit thicker and more robust than the standard white BRS. Of course, got the MJ1200 return for that as well. I had the Kessel 380H, which is a grow light for my Chato down there. Heard great reviews. It's just a grow light. I've never used a grow light besides I had a dinky little white LED for my sump on my 90. It did fantastic, but I heard this is supposed to be obviously even better for a $300 light. So it grows, of course, magenta or purple, depending on if you want to bloom or grow your Chato. So hopefully I can get that going. This was a lot smaller as of 4 days ago, so actually I think it's working perfectly fine. As you can see there, I have the Marine Pure blocks. I have 2 of those, the 4x8 inch blocks. I had that, of course, this is the one that's dirty. It's from my 90 to provide some bio to my tank, and there's a new one back there. I kind of wanted more minimalistic rock structures in my tank versus 180 pounds, which is generally the rule of thumb. So I wanted to go a little less. So I went with the Marine Pure rocks. They're perfect. I love them. Of course, there's that. Then I have the Waveline 12,000, which is rated up to 2,800 around gallons per hour in return. I did the, nylon tubing there for the return to minimize any kind of vibration that you might see or hear if the return pump was hard plumbed. Of course, then I went hard plumbing from then on out. Did the 90 to the ball valve in case I need to do any kind of adjustments going into the UV sterilizer. and then UV sterilizer over up, and then another UV ball in case I want to optimize my flow to my return. Of course, did the unions there just so I can honestly. What's his name? Ryan from BRS on those videos taught me into these things, and they are amazing. So if you hard plumbing system, get unions as much as you can. As you can see, I have them everywhere on these things. They are absolutely perfect. So they make plumbing 1,000 times easier, cleans it up, looks nice, and yeah, there you go. I have two Ecotech MP40s for my. These are quiet drives for my power heads in the tank. I had these on my 90s. They're way overpowered. I think they're going to be perfect for my 180. Yeah, so they're fantastic. I have them on anti-sync right now, or they're doing something. I have no idea what they're doing. I'll figure that out later. But they're working. They're actually running in the tank. I didn't mention on the Waveline DC pump, it is Apex ready, so it integrates with my Apex. And then there's the Waveline controller there for the DC portion of it all. And I have it pretty low, and it's perfectly proportioned, so I mean it is low, and I have a ton of flow, so this thing can pump out a ton of water, so it won't be an issue going through my system. Of course, there's the Tunes ATO controller there. You can see it's level, and there's the Tunes level there. Of course, then I have my dosing hoses right there, and then I have the Neptune dose and dose containers. I have not put my two-part in there yet, so I have calcium and then I have alkalinity in there. So I've not put those in there yet, but I'm going to do that tonight when I figure this stuff out. I'm pretty new to dosing, so this is hopefully the easiest application, and I think there's some good manuals online to figure that stuff out. So in here is my Neptune Apex board that I got from Ultimate Reefs and Aquariums in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I live in Oklahoma City, but this is a perfect application for the Neptune Apex. I mean, they cut this acrylic out, they cut the holes for you, they cut the screw holes as well. They give you screws, they give you standoffs, so it stands off perfectly from the, you can see it up there, from the wood. Absolutely perfect. Love it how it's set up. So I have at the bottom there, I have the leak detection, which is right there, works perfect. I've tested that last night. Then I have the AI wireless module, which I'm not using currently. Then I have the WXM for the Ecotech, so I am using that for the Vortec pumps. Salinity PM2 module, breakout box I'm not using yet, of course the controller, and then everything there is hooked up. I have two pH probes, lab grade from Neptune, just so I can have some good samples from my water and see how it's doing. Two temperature probes as well, one for my PM2 module for more accuracy of my salinity, and then of course just a general temperature probe for my Apex module. Two energy bar 8s, works fantastic. I never thought I could possibly have 16 plugs for a freaking fish tank, but I do. So I have all 16 plugged in. It's kind of nuts. I actually have a couple more in the back that I'm plugged in, so they try to make this stuff way too complicated, but I guess it's what it takes. But like I said, I'm not a proponent of this is the only way to do it. This is the way it's been successful for me. So anyway, so here's just an overview on the tank there. I try to keep it nice and tidy inside, nothing kind of crazy, no real wires besides what I have to have, obviously, and they're tied up there. But everything else looks pretty clean. I tried to do the best I could. I'm a very neat freak and tidy. But anyway, so this is the 180 gallon Marineland reef tank. And if you get so many questions about equipment, setup, how I did it, etc., let me know. I know there's 1,000 videos online, but you know, this is just me and how I did it, and hope you guys got something from it and kind of some ideas that I've learned over time for the past year. I've been into saltwater fish, and it's been great. So thanks a lot, guys, and happy reefing.